KZ Acoustics is one brand that has got a lot of IEMs in the affordable price segment, and here is another set. This is the KZ Duonic. Now it's an amazing little set of IEMs for the price, but it's not entirely for me, but I will get into that a little bit later. Thank you to the folk at KZ Acoustics for making this review possible by sending me this demo unit. All thoughts and opinions are my own, as always. So let's jump into the build and the unboxing of these IEMs. The unboxing is fairly simple, much like you'd expect with any set of KZ IEMs in this price range. You do get the IEMs in the box, of course. You do get the cable, small and large ear tips with mediums already on the IEMs. You also do get a little SIM ejector tool. Now this is actually to adjust the switches. This is the switch variant, and this is the base improved version. So you will need that little SIM ejector tool to adjust the switches at the back of the IEMs. Moving on to the overall design, it's fairly similar to what you'd expect from KZ. It does have this resin sort of housing, so you can see inside of it on the inside of the IEM, and the outside does have this metallic sort of faceplate. And I really like the red meshing that is on the front of the faceplate over here. And of course you will see the Duonic name and the Flux 3 planar magnetic literature written over here, which is of course what they have done with the planar driver. It is sort of a 3-layer planar, which is quite interesting. Comfort wise, I have found these to be pretty comfortable. Now the nozzle is a bit on the shorter side. This is fairly comfortable. I think it will be for most people, because some IEMs that have very long stems tend to be very uncomfortable since they go deep in your ear. But this being shorter does take some time to get used to if you have not crammed it in properly. So you will have to find where you like to keep it within your ear. And then moving on to the cable, the one side is terminated to the 0.78 mm for the IEMs, and the other side is terminated to the 3.5 mm. Now this specific variant is the 3.5 mm, of course. You do get a USB-C variant, which is cool, and this one in particular is the variant with the microphone. And this new microphone has in fact been very impressive from KZ over the last few models that I've reviewed. So if you do want to know how this microphone will perform, here's a quick demo to show you how your voice will carry over to your recipients. So I'm talking to you from the confines of my studio just so you get an idea of how my phone's microphone will sound. And I will switch on over to these IEM's microphone right now. I am using a DAC amp that has pass-through, so it should hand over pretty seamlessly. And yeah, recording audio through headset. So this is what the microphone will sound like. Now most IEMs microphones that I've heard tend to have a very low gain. They're not too energetic when you talk through them. But this is a condenser microphone, and it's a two-way. So it's there's one grill over here on this side and one on this side as well. And thanks to this being a condenser, they've been able to shift the gain levels from about -42 dB to -26. So that is a considerable jump in overall gain. Which is why you'll be able to hear me as well as you can. In fact, other tests that I've done with some other IEMs mics do not sound this loud, this clear, and good. So honestly, the fact that you're getting a mic that sounds this good at this price is nothing short of sensational. So I do hope that this demo has given you a better understanding for this microphone, and I'll see you in the chapter about sound. The Duonic comes with two kinds of drivers. One is a super linear 8 mm dynamic driver, and the other one is 3 planar drivers that are about 8 mm long. So they've definitely tried to cram in a lot into this, and it does have its positives and its negatives, but I'll get into that. And then this does have an impedance of about 22 ohms up to 28 ohms depending on the model you get, because you can get the 3.5 mm, you can get the USB-C variant, so this will vary of course. And it has a frequency response of 10 Hz all the way up to 20,000 Hz. Now on a volume front, it's the version I have is fairly easy to drive. I've not really gone past maybe 25-30%. It's more than comfortable to listen to over there. Now I have paired this with two different DAC amps. One is a Rose's Elsa RZ550 and the other is an i-Fi Go-Link. With both of these, they sit again at 25-30% volume. I wouldn't recommend sitting above maybe 35. Yeah, maybe 35 will be fun. 45% onwards might be a little too loud. So if you intend on preserving your hearing, avoid listening to very high volumes over prolonged periods of time. And then of course when you move on to its soundstage, well, it is very similar to that of most other IEMs in this price range. But I will say it does have a little bit of vertical stage within this bubble in your head. There are times where sounds can seem like they're coming from a little further out, but most of the time it's within your head. Now, because it has that little vertical stage and it does certainly have very good left and right separation, I will say that it's certainly, I'd say, better equipped to handle gaming than it is for music. Because music does have its drawbacks with this set of IEMs. But yeah, gaming wise, it's tuned in such a way where you will hear some high frequencies like footsteps and so on coming through at, it'll give you a sense of which direction is coming from very well. Like I did say, the separation is good with a well-centered phantom channel. And then when you move on to its highs, mids and lows, well, it has a very typical, I can't even call it a Harman curve, because it is elevated in the highs and the lows. But the mid-range is, I think, where I have an issue with this, because it's almost like the lower mids have been lobotomized. It's almost completely void of giving as much energy as I think there should be. But I'm sure KZ has tuned it in a certain way to cater more towards a gamer than it is for music, because I did find myself missing a lot of enthusiasm with instruments, enthusiasm with the lower mids for vocals, be it male or female. It's just completely void with certain tracks. So the thing is, I did think that maybe I was listening to the wrong DAC amp. So I did move from the RZ550 to the i5 GoLink. The i5 GoLink is a little more affordable than the RZ, and it did sort of pair a little bit better with that. But the more I started listening to both of these DACs with it, the more I wanted to try a third. So I tried the internal DAC amp on my MacBook Pro, which doesn't have a very good DAC. And one thing I will say, at this price, the fact that you're able to easily distinguish between different DACs or different DAC amps says a lot about these IEMs. They're definitely very transparent. Usually I expect this level of transparency from something that's maybe twice or three times the price of these IEMs. So it's pretty commendable that they are as transparent as they are. But coming back to the highs, mids and lows, well, the highs do have an interesting shimmer to them, but they are not very well defined, I think, in part because this is particularly the bass enhanced version. So that will tend to rob clarity from these IEMs. So if I wanted more clarity, I'd most likely lean towards the variant that's not bass enhanced. These IEMs have left me wanting for a little more clarity for sure. And I have spent a few days with this trying to figure them out, because they've not sounded right to me. And then the upper mids do come through pretty clearly and cleanly. It is well detailed. It's easy to distinguish between separate sort of instruments and vocals here. I wouldn't say its layering is the best over here, but it's good enough if you're listening to some high-res audio. But again, that mid to lower mid region is just void. It's something I definitely don't like. The lower frequencies, I'd say, are where this is more fun. Being a bass enhanced version, it's definitely got a good amount of kick. It's not a flat sounding bass response, which I think a lot of people will be happy with. I think a lot of people will prefer this kind of bass response. And then coming to the switches, one thing I will say is that the switches are definitely pretty responsive. In fact, I have tried some IEMs in the past where you flip a few switches and there's not much of a difference. With this, there's a very evident shift with the switches. So you do get a few different things you can do with it. I think you can increase the bass and you can make it more vocal forward and so on. It definitely does a good job of it, and you can sort of customize the sound the way you want. I do think that it would be easier to do this on the USB-C variant, because I think you can toggle the different modes, but this, taking it off your ear, flipping all these switches. And then another thing I didn't mention in the build chapter is, I don't know if this is a quality control issue, but one of the IEMs has the switchboard completely flipped. It's sort of upside down. So this might be a QC thing, because ideally both of them need to have the same orientation. But there you have it. So to sum up, this is just another set of IEMs from KZ where they're trying something different at an affordable price. I think it's great that they're still doing that. I wouldn't say this is for everybody. It's definitely not. I wouldn't say it's for the music enthusiast. Because if you are an audiophile, or you're stepping to the audiophile world for the very first time, and you don't know that there's this void in the lower mids, it can sort of train your ear to, expect a very different sound when you start upgrading your audio equipment, or you're getting better IEMs or more expensive IEMs. This definitely, I'd say, is more for a gamer. It's definitely got the tweaks where it needs to have it for gaming, FPS stuff, or even if you like racing games, it'll emphasize a lot of that plus the the lower frequencies. It's got good bass response, good extension. It's definitely a lot of fun for that kind of stuff, but not so much if you really want to get into the details of instruments for classical music, or if you listen to even some old school rock for that matter. There's a lot of instruments that will just seem to not exist in that void that's there. So again, this is more for the gamer than the music enthusiast. So anyway, moving on to the price. If you do want to buy these, I will leave the link down below for the KZ Acoustics website, and you can pick this up. Now the price does vary, more so because it is you've got those different variants. So it goes from about $17 to about $25, and again, that's because of the various iterations you have of it. You can get the one with the mic, without the mic, with the 3.5 cable or not, or the USB-C. So you'll have to figure out which iteration of this you want. And of course, yeah, if you do want to know how your voice will sound with the whole microphone, that I think is actually a very good performer, head on over to that chapter and check it out. So there you have it. That's my review on the KZ Duonic, and I hope that this review has given you a better understanding for these IEMs, and I do hope that I've helped you make some sort of purchase decision. If you would like to help support the channel, I'm sure you know exactly how to. But of course, thank you for tuning in for some sound advice.